Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day. Wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, today we're just gonna do a chit chat video about what the F has been going on in the world and what this means for the collective and how we're feeling. I have some other content coming for you guys this week, so make sure you're staying tuned. But I wanted to just talk to you guys again about what's going on in the world, how you can protect your energy, your mind, and everything around you as we're obviously stepping into a very tumultuous energy just on Earth, you know, let alone if you're in America. But if you're on Earth, it's a lot going on, so we're going to be getting into it. Today is the last day, Monday, July 15th. I don't know when you're going to see this video, but the last day to sign up for the CANVA and Content webinar is today. If you guys are interested in the CANVA and Content webinar, check on the community tab. You'll be able to see the flyer and sign in. It's a $45 2-hour webinar with me. We're going to be doing all things CANVA, all things content, all things digital creations, ebooks, labels, promo material. If you want to start a content business or brand, you're going to know everything about content after you wrap up the webinar. We're going to be getting into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. So definitely get into it if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur. It's $45. I'll have the sign up down below if you guys just want to sign up and get into it. But the info is going to be in the community tab. You're going to get a demo CANVA guide, which is basically a Canva with some samples, some posts, some tips and tricks that you can use whenever. And the session is also going to be recorded, so you'll have it forever. So wanted to let you guys know that because today is the last day, so get into it. I haven't been on here that often. I'm probably gonna still be on here the same amount that I've been on here. I'll try to do a video once a week, at least once every other week. But I'm getting my mind right, okay? And when my mind and my energy is right, then I'll come to you guys. And when it isn't, I will not. So if you guys ever want to connect with me, book with me, talk with me, chat with me, get some advice, get some questions answered, you can always check down below in the description of any of my videos and see where you can book sessions with me. The releasing sessions are still available. The tarot courses are still available. The 30-minute sessions, the hour sessions, the 3 question recorded reading is available. So get into it. The mentorships are available. Get into it. Now, let's talk about today. Not necessarily today, like the date, but let's just talk about what's going on in the world today. I did a video a couple of months back talking about what 2024 kind of represents. If you're big into numerology, if you're big into, I guess, time, even astrology, a decade is very, very symbolic. You know, from 1 through 10, you literally go through every cycle until you're back at 10, and then you begin again. So the beginning of 2020 was the start of a new decade for us, and we saw what happened in 2020. And I think that if we look, we can see big changes in the culture, in our entertainment, in the way we live, in the way we move. Like, let's say, for example, 2000 comes around. What happens in 2001? 9/11. We have 2010 comes around, right? What's going on around 2010? We lost a lot of great musicians, a lot of great entertainers. Also, we had the recession in 2008 as well. So we came into 2010 with a lot of different energy from what we were experiencing as a whole. Now we have 2020. Everybody is so optimistic in 2019, but we start 2020 with the P word, with the C word, and with the V word, okay? Pandemic, COVID, vaccine, okay? We start with a little bit of everything, and it's stressful, it's scary, it's painful, it's confusing, it's frightening, it's bleak, it's all of that and then some. In the same space, it is inspiring for some. For some, it's exactly what they needed to get out of a bad relationship, move from a bad town, start their life over, quit a bad job. A lot of people in the healthcare field that needed to leave for their mental health didn't do so until that happened. A lot of people started their businesses in that time, or started their families in that time, or rescued animals in that time. It was just a time when people were just searching and seeking for something new. Things have been progressing, things have been changing, not necessarily getting better, but progressing. And now here we are in 2024. We're in another financial crisis. We are in a healthcare crisis. We're in a reproductive rights crisis. We're in a race crisis. We're in a war times crisis. And any type of world crisis that we could be experiencing, we're experiencing it right now. And not only that, we're now in a political crisis where we already know who the president is going to be next. I don't even want to get into that. But that in itself is going to be damaging to a lot of people's psyche. For a lot of people, you know, seeing protests, seeing violence against citizens, seeing what we're dealing with in the world, 2020 was hard enough for everybody. I think in 2025, we're going to kind of see a repeat of some of the things that we saw in 2020, maybe just packaged in a different way. But there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to be seeing and understanding. And I know everybody has been going through it. I know everybody has been feeling stressful, frustrated, confusing. And this is the time to take action. I feel like I've been saying, take action, take action, take action. And I know for a fact I've been saying how you handle this year is going to set you up for what challenges you're facing in 2025. Because 2025, the number 5 in like a decade space, is all about conflict, 180 change, challenge. Like when you hit your year 5, you're supposed to be hitting your right turn into another direction. Maybe you were going straight and now you're going to be going perpendicular to whatever you were stepping into. Also the 5 is a time for you to see, how do you handle conflict? How do you handle challenges? Are you still running away from the same problems? If you've been running away from the same abuse, the same lies, the same issues, and you haven't been wanting to deal with it, if you don't deal with it this year, next year, you're going to be fighting for your life. And I know some of y'all feel like you're fighting for your life right now, but you haven't even seen fighting for your life. And this isn't to make you scared or nervous, because please believe I'm fighting with my life with both of my fists, both of my feet. I got 2 more arms that have grown out of my back to prepare me to continue to fight and literally swing in every direction. So we're all collectively suffering in one way or another right now, whether it's mentally, financially, physically, romantically, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. There's so much happening for us as a collective. We see it everywhere and in everything. We are in a major, major shift. We see it in our children. We see it in our education. Again, we see it in healthcare. We see it in the quality of our food. We see it in the fact that our vegetables are seedless now. We see it in the fact that the bread is not going bad. I don't think I've seen mold on a piece of bread since like 2022. I'll buy a loaf of bread and it'll last me a month and a half or 2 months or 3 months. No mold, no nothing. So with that being said, there's more processed stuff that we're consuming. The stuff that we're watching on the internet is getting worse and worse and worse. Zeus, baddies, I'm talking about y'all. It's getting worse and worse and worse, the stuff that we're consuming on social media. We're able to see less filtering and censorship on social media. And everybody thinks censorship is such a bad thing. But we see what happens when nothing is censored. We see what happens when you can go on Twitter and see somebody brains blew out, or when you can go on Twitter and see explicit material, or when you can look on your child's phone and see that they've been looking at explicit material. So the world that we grew up in, most of us, I'm going to be 30 next year, so the world that most of us grew up in has changed drastically. And if you were born before 2020, then your world has changed drastically even so, because the world that we know now was not the world that we had in 2018. Things have changed so much in such a short period of time, okay? So now that I've kind of touched on everything that's happening for us physically in the world, right? How does this affect us? This makes you question, do I want to have kids in this world? Will I be able to find love in this world? Look at the podcast culture. Look at the love culture. Look at how we're talking to each other and handling each other. Am I going to be able to find love? Am I going to be able to go to college and afford an education? Am I going to be able to, get the health care that I need? Am I going to be able to buy a home? Am I going to be able to sustain myself for the future for, what I want? Am I going to have to take care of another family member or take care of somebody else's children or even help my parents out? Am I financially secure in my job, or is there something more that I need? Am I spiritually sound, or am I being attacked by my depression and my mental health more than ever? Is my anxiety getting worse, or am I getting to a point where I can handle what's going on for me on a day-to-day basis? Am I in a space where I can distract myself from the frustration and sadness, or am I in a space where I'm waking up and it's meeting me every morning and there's nothing that I can do about it? Now is the time to recognize what is affecting me. What is the problem? What am I running from? What are my issues? And what can you do to make them happen? I've been thinking a lot about what I want out of life. I've been thinking a lot about what I want in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and what I can do right now to set myself up for that. I've had to be realistic and think, well, if I want this, I know I have to do all of this. Well, if I want this, I know I have to do all of this. And I know for a fact, doing those steps is like the bane of my existence. I don't want to take all of those steps, but I know I have to if I want what I want. So what does that mean? Am I being lazy? Am I not being dedicated enough? Am I running away because it's too much work? Am I not feeling like I have what it takes? This is really a time to micromanage and microanalyze your thoughts, your feelings, use the tools that are available to you. Go to therapy, book a session, message the crisis hotline, talk to your support system, talk to your family. If you have, family that you're close to, reach out to people, get help, get community, figure out what's going on, find the resources that are available to you and make the most of them. If you want a new job, start planning now. If you want to connect with a different relationship, start doing it now. If you want to finally break a cycle, start doing it now. I have literally, well, no, I can't say that. But I can say that I have seen more and realized more in the last 7 months, in this year, than I probably have from 2020 until now. This has been a year of reflection, of the veil being lifted in a way that you thought the veil was lifted last year. You probably even thought it was lifted in 2020. But this has been a year for you to figure out this is what it means. This is why you allow it. This is why you tolerate it. This is why you don't believe. This is why you don't have faith. This is why you're afraid. This is what's holding you back. We're being confronted with every blockage possible. And we've been in a space more often than this one where we've been confronted with our obstacles, where God has said, oh, you want this? Here you go. What you gonna do about it? Oh, you want this? Here you go. What you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? The friends ain't enough. The money ain't enough. The followers ain't enough. Your kids not enough. Your job ain't enough. Your body ain't enough. Working out ain't enough. Traveling ain't enough. Casual sex ain't enough. What do you want? Underneath all of that, what is your soul calling out for? How can you do more to fulfill your purpose in this moment? How long have you been on autopilot? How long have you just been doing what you think you're supposed to be doing? Because I think a lot of us, we're so conditioned to just accept life for what we've been taught life is supposed to be. I've been talking to my best friends and my husband about this, because I've been recognizing more than ever the different ways that our childhood affects our psyche, and also how your childhood affects how you even perceive your psyche. It's one thing to think I'm insecure. It's another thing to think there's nothing wrong with me being insecure. Those are two very, very different thought patterns. I feel like a lot of us are being confronted with what have I been accepting? What have I been okay with? What have I been saying, oh, this is enough. Oh, this is fine. Oh, this is okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't have time. I'm not focused on that right now. I just need what have we been doing that to? Because there's a chance it keeps coming up because you're denying the truest version of yourself that wants to be set free. You know you're not happy right now where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, how you're making your money. You know you want more. How are you going to get it? And what needs to transpire in order for you to get it? Like I mentioned, therapy, psychiatric help, getting some reading so you can get an actual, connection about what's happening for you spiritually. I think the releasing sessions have probably been the best thing I've ever done. And I might eventually only do releasing sessions, because being able to pinpoint why you feel like this, where your trauma is coming from, what else has been affecting your trauma, what in your life right now is influencing your trauma. Some of us can't even get confident today because you have things in your life today that are still fueling your insecurity and your fear and your doubt. What is still influencing those things around you? What is? And why are you even allowing it to still be around you? I've been ghosting folks lately, and just kind of feeling like I've just been feeling very gotta go. I've been feeling like it's everything is on clearance. I've always been very, very passionate about just getting stuff the fuck out of my life. I am queen cut it off. I'm queen block. I'm queen delete the number. I'm queen unfollow. I'm queen if it ain't for me, I don't want it. I don't want to know how it's doing. I don't want to know where it's at. I don't want to know what's going on with it. I don't need to know anything. If it ain't for me, I don't want it. A lot of us pray that prayer, God, if it isn't for me, let it be released. And I think oftentimes we don't even recognize that the prayers that we pray, they keep working. God isn't a fool. Thank God. God is better than us. But when you say, God, I want to see what isn't for me, that prayer that you prayed in 2017 is still showing you things right now. Because when you are intentionally asking for things to be revealed to you, you're switching your subconscious from a space of, I want to see what's wrong. I don't want to be blinded anymore. I don't want to think it's okay. I want to see what's wrong. And a lot of us, you prayed that prayer. You prayed that prayer, or you've been thinking subconsciously, what's wrong? Why don't I have this? Why am I not happy? Why am I not this? That's what I'm saying. Some of us, the chosen folk, the people that got more than mush inside of their head, and I'm gonna say that because I don't care. I don't care. People that are aware of the mush inside their head and they decided, I'm gonna make this mush into something. I'm gonna chisel out my smooth brain so I have a little more, a little more groove so some knowledge can get in there. I'm gonna deal with this smooth brain. A lot of us have smooth brains when we're thinking that it's okay to be depressed every day, when we're thinking it's okay for people to use us and abuse us, when we're thinking it's okay for us to hate ourselves, when we're thinking it's normal to not be able to look yourself in the mirror, when we think it's normal to not be able to communicate effectively. We have, some of us have trained ourselves to think that this is okay, this is normal, this is fine. That is what I like to call having a smooth brain. And when you have a smooth brain, you're in La La Land, but it's like you're on laughing gas in La La Land. It's like you're in an apocalyptic wasteland, but you're on laughing gas. So it's okay to you. It's funny to you. It's fine. Until you say, you know what? Let me get off of this gas. Let me see what the fuck I'm really looking at. And when you finally see what you're looking at, the relationship changes because the fog is no longer there. And a lot of us have decided to lift the fog long before this year. You decided in 2020 you didn't want to play no more. Now, that's not everybody. A lot of people are still playing, but a lot of us have said, I'm done with that smooth brain shit. I'm trying to get the grooves going. I'm trying to figure out what I need to figure out, and I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how painful it is. I want to do the work, and I'm going to commit to doing the work. If you've ever even thought that intentionally in the last 4 years, I hope you're buckled up, because I am. I have 2 buckles on and the across buckle, and I'm chained in every way. I hope you're buckled up, because it's not going to stop. And this year is going to be more and more reflection, more and more revelation, more and more of what you need to see, more and more of what you need to do. Because next year, honey, if you ain't like this, you're going to be like this. If you ain't like this, come next year, you're going to be laid out. You're going to be laid out. And it's not to say that life is only going to lay out some of us. We're all going to experience it, because think about how we are now. Some of us are already fighting, but some people are just kind of allowing things to trample and trample and trample over them because they can't see through the fog. And that's how you feel about life when you can't see through the fog and you're believing what your psyche is telling you. Just like I said earlier, it's one thing to think you're insecure. It's another thing to think it's okay to feel that way about yourself. If you're somebody, and I don't even know if those people are watching this video, but if you are, I'm sorry about saying your brain's smooth. There's nothing wrong with having a smooth brain. We all have a smooth brain in the beginning. It's up to you to say, I don't want to think like this anymore. This type of thinking is not conducive to me getting what I need in the end. I can't keep putting my needs last. I can't keep thinking that my parents' opinions, that my friends' opinions, that my partner's opinions are more than mine. I can't keep thinking that all I need is $1. It doesn't matter what I'm working for. I can't keep thinking I'm only going to be good enough to get this type of partner, so I need to keep settling. Those thoughts are so harmful for you, for your future, for your babies if you want to have them. I was just telling my best friend this morning, I know so many people that are suffering and almost succumbing mentally to everything that's beating them up. And they want babies so bad. They want children so bad. They want family so bad. And a problem with that, and it's a problem. There's a period after that sentence. It's a problem. If you are not mentally sound, if you have not been working on yourself, if you have not been working to revamp your subconscious and your psyche, if you've not been working to do the hard work, you have no business thinking about expanding anything. You don't need to open up a business because you're going to get discouraged and shut it down, and then you're going to be even more shameful. You don't need to have a kid because your child is going to amplify all of your insecurity, and you're not going to like them, and you're going to end up treating them probably how your parents treated you, which is why you're insecure in the first place. I'm going to say that again. You don't need to have a kid, but because everything that you deal with that child is going to heighten whatever you're experiencing, it's going to trigger whatever you're experiencing, and you're going to end up treating them how your parents treated you, which is why you're insecure in the first place. In relationships, you're going to continue to allow and allow and allow and allow. If you're longing for love, if you're longing for marriage, if you're longing to find a partner, if you're longing to find friends, and you're not mentally sound, be prepared for users and abusers. Because when you're in a space of desperation, you'll take anything. You'll take anything. When you're in a space of desperation, you know what you say when a piece of trash walks through the door? Thank the Lord. Hallelujah. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for something to walk through the door. That's why it's so important to be specific about what you want. Because when you're just longing, you can long for anything. All love is not good love. All friendship is not good friendship. All jobs are not good jobs. All money ain't good money. All connection ain't good connection. All laughter ain't good laughter. You could be sitting there insecure, sad, doubting yourself, hating yourself, wanting friends and laughter around you. And you're going to get a bunch of friends that talk about you and jokes on you all day. And they make you a joke. And they jacking on you in the group chat. They jacking on you in public, in front of people, laughing at you, cracking on you, the butt of all the jokes. There go your friends. There go your laughter. Is you happy about it? No. What's the problem? You were insecure and afraid and doubting yourself and thinking that you were going to be lonely as hell when you was wanting it. And now the first person that came into your life, you're attached to them because you weren't even in the right mind frame in the beginning to set up the correct boundaries to get what you're really supposed to have. If you have not been chiseling out your brain and making yourself see things differently, next year is going to be really, really difficult. It's going to be difficult to deal with the politics of the world. It's going to be difficult to deal with the state of the world. Because your life is not just your life. We're not in a biodome by ourselves. We don't each have a planet that we live on. We are all on Earth. It's 8+ billion of us on this planet. So what does that mean? Every birth, every death, every war, every success, every famine, every drought, every natural disaster, every win, everything we collectively experience together. We feel it in our bones. That's why you can look at stuff online and you can cry when you see somebody else crying and you don't know them. You've never seen them before. But we're humans. So we know what it's like to lose a child or to lose a mother or to not have friends or to have your relationship fall apart. We know the struggle that we all experience. And we are absolutely collectively struggling, and that isn't going to stop. It isn't going to stop because so much has changed about the world. We feel differently about love, friendship, money, sex, the internet, society. Everything has changed, and it's going to continue to change. But we have to make sure that we're on the right side of that change. And it's even harder now to be on the right side of that change. But think about when the Civil War was going on. Think about when the Civil Rights Movement was going on. Think about when the 90s was happening and the 80s was happening and murder was rampant and drugs was rampant and kidnapping was rampant. Like, think about all the things that we've experienced as a people. And there's always been a group of people saying, we have to change it. We have to do better. We have to do more. We have to get outside of this. That's where we are right now, y'all. We're in that space. The world has always been what it has been. Everything that is will be again. That's literally the name of the game. Everything that is will be again. So now we're in a space where we have to make a choice. We all have to make a collective choice. What are you going to do about it? I know I've been realizing I need to make some more chisels in my brain. You know, things that I thought weren't a big deal. It's a big deal. Issues that I've had my entire life that I felt like, that's fine. I can keep dealing with it like this. Nah, it needs my full attention. I have to actively work on things. I can't just recognize it's there and let that be enough. Because recognizing something there and not doing anything about it is the same thing as saying, it's okay that I'm insecure. It's okay that I feel like this every day. And that's how I felt for a really long time. I felt like that my whole life. I've never been okay. And I've conditioned myself to think that it's normal to feel like that every day of your life. It's normal to experience those things. It's normal to be in that space of mind. And I think whatever that is for you, whether it's desperation, whether it's a lack of hope, whether it's insecurity, we keep talking about, doubt and fear, whether it's self-hatred, whether it's unhealthy attachments, whether it's addiction, whether it's, an unhealthy relationship, with God and spirituality, whatever it is that you've adapted that has made you sick for so long that now it feels like this is your normal. This is your year to do something about it. This is your year to stop being a people pleaser. This is your year to find your voice. This is your year to say, you know what? I'm quitting this job. I don't give a fuck what it looks like. This is your year to say, you know what? I'm ready. This is your year to say, enough is enough. This is your year to do it. This is your year to do it. It doesn't feel like it at all. It feels like everything is coming down on you at once. It feels like you'd probably be better off just quitting and never doing anything ever again. But the gag is, even if you quit, you still have to look at yourself in the mirror. You still have to be you. So you might as well do what you can to make the most of it. And that is so hard to say. I have to say it to myself. But you might as well. You might as well. Because you only get one chance to be you. And think of who you've been in every season of your life. Don't you deserve happiness? You deserve happiness, wealth, abundance, prosperity, affluence. You deserve that. You deserve that. You're made for that. We're here for that. And collectively, we're supposed to have that together, you know? I had someone reach out to the group and say that they saw on TikTok, I believe, that someone compared this year to the story of Job in the Bible. So I'm gonna give y'all a little Bible study if y'all ain't familiar with Job. Okay, Job was a very, 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 very faithful follower of God. God was so proud of Job. And before Jesus came back and defeated death, thereby defeating Satan and the evil in the world, Satan and God were like this a lot in the Bible. It was a lot of, I bet I can do this, and God being like, I bet you can't. It was a lot of that. It was a lot of that. And Satan wanted to essentially turn someone against God, basically. That's the devil's whole point, right? I want to turn against God. And I've heard people say that the devil, Satan, and Lucifer are three different people. I don't give a damn, okay? I'm not trying to meet all three devils. I don't really give a damn. The devil is a devil. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The devil. Whichever one it is, that's what I'm talking about. Because, child, they got so specific with these. I'm like, girl, who is it? The devil, right? The devil wanted to corrupt. The devil always wants to corrupt and turn us away from God, of course, because he's mad at God. So, because he's a hater, but he wants to turn people away. So in the story of Job, the devil wanted to turn Job away from God because he knew that Job was a very faithful follower of God. And God was like, man, you cannot touch Job. I guarantee you. Do whatever you want to Job. Job is not going to turn his back on me. I know Job. I know his heart. He is not going to turn his back on me. So God gave the devil free reign to basically do whatever he wanted to Job, except kill him. He couldn't kill him, but he could do whatever else he wanted. So he killed his family. He killed his children. He killed all his animals. He took all his land. He left Job with nothing. The devil took everything from Job. And Job said, am I getting emotional? I love the Lord. Job said, God, if it is your will, let your will be done. Job said, if this is what you want from me, God, I'll take it. I'll accept it. If this is what you want from me, I am yours. I am here for you. I'm on your plan. I am working your mission. I am doing what you want me to do. I am fulfilling your purpose. If this is what you want from me, God, if it is your will, then let it be done. If it is your will, then let it be done. I'll never curse you. I'll never turn my back on you. And of course, Job got double everything. He got double the children, double the land, double the animals. He got everything. New family, new everything. This story is referenced so much in scripture and in Christianity because it is essentially God giving you double for your trouble, which is what God always does. I also think that we're constantly being tempted by our own demons because we all have things within us that says, I don't know what I'll do if I lose my husband. I don't know what I'll do if I lose my child. I don't know what I'll do if I lose my job. I don't know what I'll do if something happens to my mom. I don't know what I'll do if I lose my house. And sometimes we can be in those spaces. More often than not, we are in those spaces with total and complete loss. And some of us turn to drugs, become abusive, put that hate on others because it's what we feel. Some of us completely lose ourselves, and it takes us years to find our way back to ourselves. From one moment of loss, it could take you years to find your way back to yourself. And eventually, if you're able to work through that loss, you're able to get to a point where you see why you have to keep pushing forward. You're able to get to a point where everything unfolds in front of you and you have everything that you could have ever imagined, and then some. And then you might lose it again. I think that we go through a lot of different cycles in life where we are constantly dealing with loss, whether it's a physical loss, financial, spiritual, emotional, whatever. We deal with loss, So I think it's normal to lose and gain or what have you. But I definitely think that we're in a space of needing to surrender to the lessons. we're in a space of needing to say, God, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to trust that you got something planned for me. So in the meantime, let me get my mind right. Let me figure out why I'm feeling this way. Let me not give up on myself. Let me not accept it and say, I'm trash, I'm broke, I'm lonely, I'm insecure, nobody's ever gonna love me, I don't love myself, so it is what it is. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because it's so easy to do that. And we all have a part of us that's like one loss away from giving up. We all have a part of us that's like, in the moment of something happening, like, child, if this happened again, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this. But we make it through. We keep making it through no matter what. And I think this is absolutely going to be a moment of a lot of triumph for a lot of us. I think this is the start of a victory lap, or at least the training for the victory lap, honey. But I think that how you handle this year, how you make the most of it, how you take care of yourself, how you invest in yourself, your time, your money, your energy, whatever, it's more important than ever right now. And if you don't have a lot of money, every person in America, in the world, if you don't have a lot of money right now, it's more important than ever that you start doing stuff for yourself. I had my first 6-figure year, and the year before that, I probably was so broke and I was very broke. But I was walking to the corner store, getting my little groceries every day, getting my little day worth of groceries. I was sitting outside all day. I was buying my little smoke, making it last 2 weeks. I was taking one Uber a month to see my homegirl that lived in the city and making the most of that time. And that was probably, one of the most peaceful times of my life. I always think back on that time like, wow, like I was so peaceful. I had so much vision. I was so hopeful, and I had less than I probably have ever had. I wasn't in a relationship. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a job. I had just started doing this. So I really wasn't making a lot of money. I think maybe in 6 months, I made like the $2,000 that I needed to move back to Dallas in 6 fucking months. But every day I ate, I smoked, I was fine. I woke up, I took my little vitamins, I ended up winning a contest and winning a bunch of free clothes that I was flipping and cutting and bleaching and dyeing to make a bunch of looks. And I think that goes to show that having more does not equate to feeling better. And I know a lot of us feel like, if I had more, if I had this, it does not change anything, because the problem isn't what you have, the problem is you. The problem is your mind, your perspective, your outlook, your subconscious. That's the issue. And I say problem because it becomes a problem when you let it take over your whole mind, There's always going to be a part of your mind where maybe those thoughts will be, but you have to have other parts of your mind that are stronger, more powerful, more aligned with what you really think and what you really know. And I think this can be a representation of Job's experience. Hopefully we don't have to lose it all. Good God, I hope we don't have to lose it all, honey. I hope we don't have to lose it all, but I really do believe that God is going to bless us. I do believe that we're going to get double for our trouble. I think that the lessons we've been learning this year and the things we've been seeing about the government, about the world, it's for our benefit. It's so we can know what we're dealing with. It's so we can know the world that we're in. It's so we can know how we need to heal and how we need to move forward. You can't know what you're fighting. You can't fight it. You don't have a chance of winning a battle if you don't even know what you're fighting against. So this is your year to know what you're fighting. This is your year to know what you're fighting, so you can be prepared to literally wake up January 1st, 2025 with your setup. Seriously. You need to either rise up with your setup, or you can just lay in the bed for another 365, honey. Because next year we need to be ready. We need to be prepared, It's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be a lot happening. And I can maybe even do another video just talking about what we can kind of expect in 2025. But we're going to see a lot of shifts everywhere. In the media, in politics, and what's acceptable and what's allowed. We're going to see a lot of bans. We're going to see a lot of restriction. We're going to see a lot of, departments, like political departments and political, corporations and things that we rely on, healthcare, education. We're going to see a lot of these things be dismantled and revamped in a way that probably isn't going to really suit us. We're going to see the worst come out of a lot of people. And we've already been seeing that, and it's going to even be amped up. Next year is going to be a time for us to really, put the pedal to the metal and use everything that we've learned. This is your time to get your armor, to get your training, to get your preparation. So next year you're ready. You want to be ready, because after next year, it's smooth sailing. After 2025, it's smooth sailing, you know? Not necessarily completely smooth sailing, but after 2025, I think we're going to be in a space where there's not going to be an obstacle that you're not going to be aware of. Now is the time for you to recognize what triggers could present obstacles, what obstacles you're currently dealing with. But next year is going to be a year of, okay, here are actual obstacles in your life. And these obstacles are piggybacking off of what you've already been dealing with. So if you've been dealing with it and healing it and working on it, it's going to be a lot easier for you to handle those things next year versus somebody that just spends this time accepting that the obstacles are their reality. You're going to step into next year and you're not going to know what the fuck to do. Literally. So make the most of this. See a therapist, see a psychiatrist, book a session, read a book, get outside, save your money, do something nice for yourself. Even if you ain't got no money, get some friends online, do whatever you can, do whatever you have to do. I don't care if you ain't got no job. I don't care if you ain't got no car. I don't care if you ain't got nowhere to stay. I don't care if you ain't got no internet. I don't care if you ain't got no Wi-Fi. I don't care if your phone screen broke. I don't care if your man broke up with you. I don't care if your friends turned their back on you. Good. Get it out of your life. Sometimes money can be a blockage for you and you need to be broke to find your way to peace without it, to make it and sustain you in a different way. We don't know why certain things have to be removed from us. I surely do not know. We do not know. It's for us to figure out in the moment and for us to, of course, use the resources that we have around us to help us get to that. But this is your journey. This is your journey. It's your life. What you're going to be dealing with is going to be different than what everybody else is going to be dealing with. But I really feel like we have an opportunity to make some really, 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 really beautiful change that's going to change everything about how we see and feel. And I think we're really going to see the benefit of that and how we handle next year. So yes, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this talk. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you get your tickets to the CANVA and content webinar if you're interested. Also, if you want to book a session, a releasing session, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, get into it. Get into it, okay? Or a 3-question recorded reading. The 3-question recorded readings are $30. I think that's a really, really good option if you need a quick tea, okay? So get into it. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. Check down below in the description box to get into everything. And let me know how you guys have been feeling. I hope you guys have been doing great. I hope you've been doing great. But I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Bless.